Hi, this is Tim Hanlon with Gizmag.com. I'm here with Al from DivX, and we're going to take a look at DivX Plus HD. Do you want to tell us a bit about it?
Yeah, DivX Plus HD is our new format, which you should be seeing appear on consumer electronics devices in the near future. What we've done is we're enhancing the entire ecosystem of DivX by adding in support for content in the MKV file container with H.264 video and AAC surround sound audio. And the idea is that wherever you see the DivX Plus badge on a device, all of the older generation DivX content is going to play, but also this new generation of content, which essentially has better quality, better compression efficiency, and also many more features built into the file. So we're talking things like chapter points, subtitles, even files with multiple titles, multiple audio tracks, and so forth. So our idea is to basically enhance the experience and make sure all of the popular HD content on the internet today is transferable through web browsers onto your devices.
Okay, fantastic. Now, there's a couple of devices already announced with HD capability, is that right?
There are a variety of devices stamped with the DivX HD brand, and these are playing the older generation DivX format in HD up to 1080p. What you should be seeing soon are devices stamped with DivX Plus, which will be able to play the DivX Plus HD format, and that's the format that includes H.264 video and AAC surround sound audio. So we've already certified some chip manufacturers, and we have hardware manufacturers going for a certification process now, so those devices should appear soon.
Okay, and have you got content partners lined up to distribute content?
We do have content partners lined up, so there are a number of announcements in the pipeline, but we recently launched a partnership with Warner Brothers France to deliver content in the DivX format, so movies from Warner Brothers are already available for purchase in France. And in the United States, we recently launched a partnership with FilmFresh, which I can show you on the screen. This is endorsed by 4 major Hollywood studios, and you can see that there's recent Hollywood content available on the site. If I click Iron Man here, for example, you can see that you can download the film in DivX for less than the price of the regular DVD. Play it on your desktop, of course, but one of the really great things about DivX, as opposed to some of the other formats that you can download movies in, is that any device with a DivX logo stamped on it will also be able to play this content. So I can prepare it for my device on the desktop system and then transfer it onto like a portable media player, onto a television via thumbstick, onto my DVD player via disc or a thumbstick, and that can be any of the brands that have our certified logo on the device, so we're not locked into one particular manufacturer. Can I show you some of the software that we'll be announcing, over the next 12 months?
Absolutely.
In fact, let me begin with a brief overview of some of the features of DivX Plus HD. So because we've embraced the MKV file container, we already have access to a wealth of features which are commonly associated with movies that you might buy on a DVD or a Blu-ray. Of course, these are delivered via the internet. And for this demonstration, we're using content from the Blender Foundation, who have produced a number of open source movies over the last few years. And DivX is actually sponsoring their next movie also. I'm going to open up here a preview of the next generation of DivX Player. This is an early development version, so hopefully nothing's going to go wrong. But I'm going to play one MKV file here. It's a very large file, so it's going to take a minute just to start. Anyway, this is Elephant Stream, their first release, and we have in this file multiple chapters. We have stereo and surround sound audio. This may be in a more general case, for example, the theatrical audio and the director's commentary. We have subtitles for various languages. We'll load the German track here since we're here in Germany for IFA. We have metadata built into the file and so forth. We also have support for multiple titles, so if you imagine anything which comes in an episodic format can now be distributed within a single file. So here we have the first Blender movie and also the second Blender movie within one file. We've added a new feature which is very beneficial for enjoying the content on consumer electronics devices like your DVD player or your television, and that's the ability to seek smoothly through the file up to 32 speed in both directions. So I can fast forward here in up to 32 speed and rewind. And this is a new feature which DivX is adding to MKV right now. We'll have more information about that on labs.divx.com soon, which is our developer website. What we do is basically include a second copy of the video at a lower resolution in the file, and we add about 10% of the file size as overhead in order to do that. But this solves a problem in devices where it's often very hard to fast forward and rewind when you're off the desktop. The reason is that in video formats that are highly compressed, we often have a keyframe and then up to, say, 10 seconds of frames which all require each other to be decoded in order to display, whereas in our trip play track we have just a sequence of keyframes which are very fast for any device to load and display. We have also support for MKV in the next generation of DivX web player, which should be appearing on labs.divx.com in a number of weeks, and then out in all of the DivX bundles as it's been distributed for a number of years now. So here we have the DivX web player. Now this is playing off a local system just for the purposes of this demo, but it can be run from any standard web server. So anywhere that you have a hosted web service, you can use this web player to serve files to any of your users. So it can be as small as like a $9.99 hosting solution to a big corporation.
What kind of bandwidth requirements do you have for streaming HD?
For streaming HD and the quality that we're showing here today, you're probably talking for web use maybe around 8 megabits a second for full 1080p. Now obviously that's a little bit high for some home connections, but certainly down to standard definition and even up to 720p, you're going to fit that down pipes for most people. One of the really nice things about the DivX Plus format, because we're using H.264 video, even at the lower data rates the clips are looking quite good. This is thanks to features of H.264 like quarter pixel motion estimation, smaller block sizes, and in-loop deblocking. So I can start one of the trailers from the divx.com website here. And one of the very nice things about DivX web player is I can blow it out to full screen. It runs extremely fast. It's using our very fast H.264 decoder, which had a lot of praise when it was released on labs.divx.com, and is one of the really good free H.264 decoders. We also have many of the features of DivX Plus HD already implemented here. So this means that in a standard web page for free, you're going to be able to get functionality like surround sound, chapter points, the metadata that we mentioned before, subtitles and so forth. And DivX web player is actually a very smart web player. So even though it's pulling from a standard web server that anybody can set up, if I have, for example, a file on that server and it's got 4 audio tracks in it in multiple languages, it's only actually going to download the byte ranges for the track that I'm actually playing at that time. So it is very efficient. We're designing it to work as well as possible everywhere.
Fantastic.
Of course, it has support for the older generation DivX format as well, so we're trying to be as agnostic as possible and support as many formats as possible.
Now, what kind of, for the purchased HD, say if you're going to buy Iron Man, how big would the file be?
Those files are in standard definition. I believe they're going to typically be for a full-length movie somewhere in the region of about 1 gig. One of the things that we're going to show you is on this netbook with the Intel GMA 500 accelerator and obviously a very low-powered Atom processor, we're actually able to play our DivX Plus content. In this case, we're actually stretching the adapter a little bit by running full 1080p video in the DivX Plus format on the netbook with only about 40 or 50% CPU use.
That's incredibly impressive.
Which is impressive. So Microsoft's actually enabled hardware decoding for H.264 in Windows 7. The piece that DivX is providing is support for the actual MKV. So this allows Media Foundation to extract that stream and hand it off to the graphics accelerator. And not only that, but by installing the DivX support for MKV in Windows 7, you are also able to leverage Windows 7 support for taking that content and streaming it to external devices through Windows Media Center and Media Center extenders, and also through the UPnP framework. So we're talking about taking a DivX Plus MKV file and playing it on your PlayStation 3 or on your Xbox 360. That's all possible today. This component will be part of future generations of DivX, but if you want to grab it now and try it out for yourself, it's available on labs.divx.com, as well as some of the tools that we've been using to create these files today, and we have some tutorials there on encoding H.264 video and AAC audio. So go check that out.